So what I really liked about that was kind of the insight of creating space instead of thinking about not doing,
Yeah,
getting on your device, creating more space for other things in your life that can feed you, that could also produce more feel good hormones too in your body if you're
absolutely.
doing things that, you love and you bring more mindfulness into, then that impulse also might go down. But I think really what's important, Jackie, is understanding the what's happening before we're doing it and really paying attention to that. I think if we really want to shift our and we often talk about this, shifting our relationship
Yeah,
with our devices, with social media, with gaming or whatever, whatever it is
absolutely.
we're doing digitally, virtually, we really have to slow it down and understand what's that about? Why are we reaching for these things?
It's interesting. I think that that's such an important point, and that pause is where the magic happens. But it's hard to kind of like figure out how to work in and like notice that you're there to take it sometimes, and the real challenge. But I think being able to get, even if you catch it after, note it, or and also know that like these are, patterns that, like, aren't new, right? Like, so it's gonna take some time to, like, become more aware, become more sensitive, and reframe, because there was probably a point in time where they served you really well, or they were made to serve,
Hmm.
like, they come from a place, of good, right? Hopefully, or even
Hmm.
if it's evolutionary and not in your own life, right? But, like, we don't need it right now. We're okay. And I think that that's one of, like, the things that we've talked about in the past, like sort of how the nervous system gets impacted by all of this constant,
Right.
these like
Right.
short form videos, snip, 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 clip through, hop
Well,
along through the stories and things
yeah.
like that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because our nervous system was never meant to be flooded over and over again. So everything that's happening in the news right now, all the images on a nonstop replay, important. It is important to be aware of what's happening in the world. This is affecting everyone. And having it fed over and over again every time we see it, it's like our nervous system is saying, "We're still in danger. We're still in danger." And it's being really on high alert over and over and over and over again, and that's not really kind of how we're meant to live unless
Right.
we really are living in, kind of in, danger where, we're being attacked all the time. But, that can really be so troublesome. Walking away really can give your nervous system a chance to reset. I think when there's like so much fear and anxiety about what's happening in the world, we also don't want to push it down. I'm kind of doing a PSA for therapy, right? Or for like
No, for real.
processing, because I
Please
think
do.
you're talking about some really important things here about our nervous system. We need a chance to go through the cycle. So we feel fear and we either run away or we fight. We do something, some kind of activity to try to protect ourselves. And if you're scrolling, you're constantly flooding without the opportunity to complete, it's called the stress response cycle,
Hmm.
and there's no way to complete it. We're just staying in that stress mode. So, talking to someone, even if you're writing it down, to cry, to punch a pillow, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, but to really give yourself an opportunity to complete the cycle versus continuing to just kind of live in the imagery that is
Yeah.
just raising stress. And even though we can't change an oppressive society, we can't change racism, we can't change all of the things that are happening right now in this moment. If we're not taking care of ourselves, then we're adding more insults and heaviness to injury. It's really, we were talking last time just about like kind of the teenagers going on social media, it's not necessarily contributing to high levels of anxiety or
Yeah.
depression. There's no kind of causality there. At the same time, when we're looking at negative images that are causing more stress, I can see how scrolling over and over and over again is really going to just raise up the stress and keep you living in like that anxious mode without having a release.